What's up, everybody, and welcome to All for Footy, the AFL podcast where good friends gather and gab about last week's games, this week's games, and everything in between. I'm your host, Nathan, Mr. 9 out of 9 Norman, joined by the man himself. Can leap tall buildings in a single bound, faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, the man of steel, Steelo.
Thank you for having us. Feeling very nice, returning in my seat, and round 21, what a great round it was. So, keen to get stuck in, so fucking...
Let's get stuck in.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for having us, mate.
You're welcome, Thank you for being here. And also, joining us for the first time via Discord. Second time, actually, but first time was from Gold Coast. This time, from the comfort of his own home, it's Daniel, the Big Daddy Reeby.
How are we, boys? It's always good to be here and, just sitting at home with the pooch and the cat's over there just meowing away asking for his dinner and might make her wait a couple of hour and a half or so, but just so comfortable at home. I've got the heater on, although I'll give you a heads up, there might be a little bit of a strip tease on tonight. I do have 3 or 4 layers of some fantastic St Kilda merchandise to show you all, so plenty to look forward to.
We can't put a striptease on YouTube.
Well, I can. I mean, it's that warm in here. I might start with the first
terms
one.
and conditions, I'll have to edit it out. Oh, here we go.
Envious of your warm.
Here we go.
Definitely envious
How
of your
exciting it'll proceed to be across the show. But what a big round of footy it was, and can't wait to rip into it.
Yeah. Especially
Especially for all those tipster gurus out there. I mean, I said stick with me and I'll make you witch, but it's been
it went far off.
Even though I did tip St Kilda, so that was a bit silly. But
That was silly. Hey, look, I thought a couple of tips you did were silly, but they paid off. But anyway, let's move on. Straight into it, guys. Straight into last week's games. All right. Friday night football at Marvel Stadium. It was the Doggies versus Melbourne. Western Bulldogs 15-20, 110. Melbourne 9-5, 59. Steelo.
Oh, mate. I feel for you. Condolences. I was watching this one with the Big G train. And, he's a huge Melbourne fan. And we were hoping they'd bounce back with Gorney in the team. Yeah, Big Joshy.
I was hoping they would too.
Gorney back was a massive inclusion. We thought that was the difference. And the Doggies, thought the D's would be able to put an end to their streak. And, they've been sporadic with their form all throughout the year, the Dogs. So it was interesting to see them just play really strongly again. And, who knows? Like, they're looking like they're primed for September along with teams like the Lions. But, the D's, I don't know, what did you think about how they played?
That was fucking shit. Raby, what did you think?
it was a pretty quick pass off there.
Yeah, it was.
Look, they had a crack, pretty ineffective, but also so were the Doggies. Probably could have actually hammered them by a lot more in the end, couldn't they? And it was probably 2 teams at opposite ends of the season at the moment. I think the Dogs are just really firing up, playing some real finals type footy, and Melbourne probably just not a top 8 side as the year wears on, I think, now. So
I think that's
the Doggies, though, isn't there a lot to like there? I mean,
there is.
Even though they kicked 17 behinds in the end. I haven't got the score
20 behinds
right now, but so how many?
20 behinds.
20 behinds, and they really could have beat Melbourne by anything there. And Chalor and Bontempelli in the middle, just doing as they please, really dominating the game, the pair of them. And with Darcy and with Lobb at the moment doing his thing, and just loving the Doggies' run here. Something about them when they get their tails up. You feel like they're going to be hard to play for the rest of the year in every game. And I don't see why they're not genuinely right in that premiership conversation right now. So
Ugle-Hagan, 2-6.
And Ugle-Hagan, he's one just firing up now every week.
That was a bad night for him. 2 goals, 6.
Yeah, but just loving the contest. If he's having 8 shots a goal, let's give him a week where he's on, and they've still won by 50 points. And wasn't it ironic that they won by 51 points just as they did in the Premiership almost 60 years ago. So a couple of ironic stats that came out of the night.
I think what's more ironic is the D's smashed them by around 50 points at the beginning of the year.
And that
last time we faced, D's smashed Doggies.
And you got them in the grand final as well. So, look, the Doggies don't forget, do they? And I'm sure they were enjoying absolutely hammering the D's there on Friday night. So
they did. Nothing really redeemable from our camp, unfortunately. It was very disgraceful.
Yeah, what do you think the real issue is with the D's, though, at the moment? Because, they've got a lot of talented players, and it doesn't seem like they've got, like it's their bottom five, like their worst five players that are the issue. It seems like maybe they're just the performance.
Well, what's happened to our defence? We used to have one of the best defences in the league, and I just feel like if we're letting 35 scoring shots go on a single match, like, what's happened to our defence? Like, who's missing? No one. No one's missing. We got everyone. We got Lever, we got May. Like, they're the generals down there. They're the ones that have sort of carried our defence structure all throughout, our dominant years. What the fuck are they doing?
Maybe May's getting a little bit old and, becoming a little bit lazy, maybe a bit complacent with some of his actions. He comes off his man a lot.
Simby was up and about for the Doggies.
Yeah, well, look, Rick, flying high. He wishes he could be on the pod tonight, but unfortunately...
Well, Mr. Parker was at the game.
Yeah,
and
motherfucker.
Didn't he enjoy himself? So he apparently went along.
He had a nice thick steak and a panna cotta or whatever.
Enjoyed a beautiful dinner, got looked after all night, and got the victory with the Doggies. So what a night to go to the footy. And probably maybe still a little hungover. Maybe he used up his leave pass from home for the month for the big night out. Hence not allowed on the pod tonight.
Well, it's what it is.
Condolences.
Doggies ending D's season effectively. I don't see us making the 8 now.
Go Doggies.
It's done. Podcast is over. All right.
You can officially tip the Dogs now as well. I can officially tip the Dogs.
You can officially tip the Dogs now, I think, yeah. All right, well, moving on to the next game, because that was a fucking... Moving on to the next game. West Coast Eagles versus the Gold Coast Suns. West Coast 15-7-97. Gold Coast 13-9-87. West Coast. Why aren't they tanking, Reeves?
Oh, look, there's a lot of pride when you wear the West Coast top. 60,000 members and 4 AFL premierships to go with it. So there's a lot of pride within the walls of West Coast. And, geez, they really enjoyed that one, didn't they? I mean, they really got around the midfield there where Gold Coast had a huge night. I mean, Matty Rao played a huge game there and, West Coast were able to just go with them all night. And it's funny how when they're in games, how much they get their tail up and the crowd and they're up and about. Because they're, when they're not up and about, the difference between West Coast, some of the efforts we've seen, even in the last handful of weeks. So Gold Coast, I mean, geez, they can't take a trick away, can they?
No.
They played all right. Even in the last quarter there, they were right there with them.
I thought they were going to get it.
Yeah, they should have. I mean, I don't see why they didn't actually really get the W. And West Coast were able to just outsmart them a bit with a few plays. And, so Gold Coast really left wondering now. I mean, it's going to end up being an average year from them when it was built up. Meant to be a pretty big year, and at
least their supporters at their base, every time they went to the football, they saw their team win.
Yeah, I mean Jared Witts as well. So I was really struggling to get my stuff going on my phone there, and I'm with them now. Jared Witts was the other one with Matty Rao, who both had huge nights on the night, and but hats off to West Coast. I mean, Tim Kelly and a few of the boys there from West Coast, and obviously Harley Reid and, Waterman up forward as well, kicking 4. Isn't he? Just been a shining light. So West Coast sort of seem to have a horizon at the moment, but they didn't bottom out, and they haven't got much high-end talent coming through. So it will be interesting to see what the new coach picks up when he picks up this club that really hasn't bottomed out. They've hung on to a lot of old players who are going to be retiring this year. And, Yeah, it's going to be interesting still with their future.
Yeah. Well, they've still got a lot of. Well, Harley Reid is going to be interesting to see how he develops, because.
Very high end.
It was a good game, though. It was a real good contest. Good to watch. Surprisingly good to watch. And
it was definitely close.
Wasn't
It was
it?
good.
yeah, just disappointing from Gold Coast perspective. I think maybe they'll be doing some, or seeing some psychologists, or Dimmer might be bringing in some psychologists over the off season, having them talk to the players, maybe one-on-one, or even just as a group, just to overcome some of these hurdles, because it's just a mental thing, obviously, at this point. Like they're proven they can do it at home with the big crowd, but just when they're away, they just need to picture the away teams cheering for them or something like that, and just.
I actually had a reverse theory on it. Maybe they're just no good, but when teams go to the Gold Coast, they enjoy the week off and the nice warm weather, and they don't rock up to play up there. Hence why they always win at home.
I can't.
But really, when
I don't think that's a.
The teams are that bad when they go up there because they're like, oh, we're going to the Gold Coast. This is going to be nice. So really, everyone else leaves it at home. So yeah, there could be a theory and all. I mean, look.
It's pretty valid, yeah. It's always been a thing going up to Queensland. It's pretty hard to get a win up there.
Yeah, don't worry about the footy. Gold Coast sneak in their little win. And then when they go away, it's too cold and they can't play and they're really just no good.
Yeah, well, look, I don't think it's like that, because I feel like if it was like that, it'd be like that for Gold Coast every year. But it's not. It's just this year that's the standout is happening. So
I'd like to see a stat. I know we have some dedicated listeners out there that do some research.
Yep.
And if someone would put it up on the YouTube comments this week, how many matches have Gold Coast won away in their career?
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
In their history.
how many have they won at home? I want to see that broken up by year. I feel I'd want a more nuanced look at that research.
Yeah, we'll have it next week.
Go year by year.
Dedicated. Well, I mean, unless Steelo wants to get on it while we're just chatting away.
Steelo's on the pod. We're flying without a tech guy on our end. You've got a tech guy. What are you doing?
Oh, I'll try and whistle him.
Alright, well, West Coast by 10 points. Good pick, Reeves. You got that one?
Yeah, mate.
I thought this was the one. I thought this was the one where Gold Coast were going to break the hoodoo. Because Brisbane beat them at home. First loss at home. I thought, first win away. Come on, it's against West Coast. Just get it done. And they just didn't.
No, they really just choked it up there, the Gold Coast.
They choked right at the end.
Was a bit nervous watching along, thinking I've probably cost myself a tip. But
yeah, because they were in front most of the game, yeah.
Had the last spoils.
Yeah, you bastard. I'm trying to get you. Alright, well, we'll move on to the next game. It was Saturday afternoon football at Marvel Stadium. It was North Melbourne versus Richmond. North Melbourne 14-6-90 to Richmond 10-17, 77. North Melbourne by 13 points. Steelo.
Hey, come on, the Blues.
Let's go. Come on, Kangas. Get some W's.
That's how you do it. And we're in the Kangas jersey, but this is from Rabin. But yeah, good on ya. Like, how good was it to see him get a W? Come the Blues for me mate Caleb. Shout outs. Strong listener, loves the pod. Mate, he's been just a lot of the Roos fans have tuned out for this season, but the faithful ones that have been there that since day dot, the ones that have been rocking up.
Oh, they'll be rewatching this game. They'll be rewatching this game over and over.
Yep, the ones that have been rocking up, rain, hail or shine. Oh, they've been there and they've just absolutely loved this one. And they were stoked, and I'm pretty happy for them as well. So, at least they're not tanking completely. And Richmond's the real issue. I was saying it a few weeks earlier on the pod. They're really going to be a talking subject, I reckon, over the off-season.
I think they're going to be stumped into the ground a bit. Maybe they'll bounce back next year. But with what? With who?
Dusty just announced his retirement. So,
well.
Legend. An absolute legend.
Yeah, congratulations to Dusty too on a good career.
Very rusty, some would
comes
say.
To an end. You have to give the man a clap, don't you, for what is going to be remembered as
an all-right career.
legendary legendary careers for a man who gave zero defensive pressure in his whole career. But
an all right career.
It wasn't just the way he did it his way the whole
All
way.
right.
he did it his way, and he still does it his way, I've heard. So hats off to the man.
He's a
getting away
legend
with
for
a lot in
Richmond.
his time.
He's just a normal sort of ex-player in the AFL grand scheme of things, all right? But he's a Richmond club legend. It's the best they've got.
Good to see all sorts of different people in the league, you know, all shapes and
Plays
sizes,
a lot
all
of-
different
Yeah, all
backstories.
those
lot
ones
of
that are
golf
just
too.
better than Dusty, though, you know? Dusty's just nothing special. Fuck him.
No, look who's come to say
Yeah,
hi.
it's the puss puss.
It's Knackers.
As
For
we're
all the
talking
people
about
watching.
cats.
Hey, good.
Yeah, Knackers wants to get out of there. The dog's getting involved. Fair enough. All right, well,
She's got daggers.
yeah, Nick Larkey, 5 goals, nothing. North, you know, one of their strongest players. I think you can't deny that. He's always bagging a handful a game, even when North are getting smacked.
Signs the contract, and there's his 5. So good on him, Mr. Larkey.
It's just like, yeah, it's just another week. Good on you, Larky. This is just what happens. It's like, well, give the man his due. But yeah, but
He got his due.
you can only praise him for kicking a bag every week for so long until it's just like, yeah, it's what he does. Who gives a fuck?
They're pumped. I heard they had a massive weekend out there on Chapel Street, and they just got absolutely hammered.
Oh,
And,
good on
just
them.
let the hair down,
Just
you know.
celebrate, you know. What happened to the old celebrations?
I could be wrong. I don't have the strongest sources, but that's what I've heard.
A big shout out to Jack Rose as well, Booney's kid. Came down to Jai's birthday on Saturday, and the dedicated Tigers fan he is. You know, he's wearing his top, and he had the footy on all day, and we were following it. I gave him my phone, and I go, "Here you go, Jack. It's on Foxtel. We're watching it." And he kept giving us the updates, and he went a bit quiet towards the end there because the Tigers ended up getting overrun. But big shout out to Jacko. What a superstar of a kid he is. And we were kicking the footy all day, and you should have seen how many goals he was kicking.
That's what I like to see.
I should have been there.
He was snagging them like Dusty, he was.
Good work.
Well, good to see. Good to see. All right, well, let's get back on track. The next game, Geelong versus Adelaide at GMHBA Stadium, Saturday afternoon football. Geelong 13-12-90, Adelaide 13-7-85. Geelong by 5 points in a barn burner. Reeves, what do you reckon?
Oh, well, I was very happy Jeremy Cameron was playing for Geelong because, I mean, without him, geez, Geelong might have been in a bit of trouble there.
Yeah, well, they were definitely in trouble. It's only a 5-point victory.
No, and but yeah, so I still think Geelong actually are the ones sneaking along under the radar here this year. I mean, again, they just keep getting it done, even though getting tested. You know, down at home against Adelaide, where everyone just thought they'd do it easy, but you know, across the whole game, Adelaide were just right in it, kept it tight. Geelong were able to sneak out a little bit there, but Adelaide got right back in it again, and you know, it's a bit of a character-building win still for Geelong, and to see them really just sitting 5th on the ladder,
Sixth.
you know, right in that potential top 4 chance still, you know, just they're so under the radar at the moment. You don't hear about them being a chance, but they're right there, and yeah, just another win, which I think that's all they'll be focused on down there at the moment. Adelaide is still solid opposition this year, really hungry, players on the list trying to fight for spots. So, you know, it was a really good win for him in the end. But geez, Jezza.
He pulled him out of a sticky situation a few times in that game, especially at the end. Elite. He's just a freak of nature. He's just a ripper bloke and just a superstar footballer. Oh, you'd love to have him at your club.
I wonder if he would have gone out with Stengel after the game for a bit of celebration.
Hey,
drinks at the
let's
local.
calm down. You don't want to say anything about Stengel, all right? He's not like Clayton Oliver, all right? We don't give him that treatment. He plays for one of the clubs, you know. We don't talk about him like that. He's not. He doesn't play for like a Melbourne where we can just
Like what? I was just
It's
saying
alright.
they could have gone out to celebrate after the game.
Yeah. No, he's celebrating. That's it.
Yes, good. But no, the caddies just firing along, and yeah, a lot to like about him at the moment. And my big question mark at the moment definitely will be: I hear Tom Hawkins also called his retirement.
Yeah, well, it was coming.
At the end of the season. So, you know, where will that leave Geelong in the search for, you know, new forwards and, you know, obviously he's just a club legend down there, but will he get in for a game? You know, like, it's an honest question at the moment. I think he'll probably get tried out. I think they'll definitely go with him somewhere. But, you know, if it doesn't work and they lose and he doesn't kick many, or it's, you know, it's really going to be an interesting one for Geelong, this whole Tom Hawkins and the way they play it. So you feel like they play it well. They're a real smart club with the way they handle these things. But, you know, yeah, it's just hope for the best. And I mean, wouldn't it be awesome for Joel Selwood and for Tom Hawkins to both get the fairy tale finish to their careers?
On one hand,
maybe for Wheels, not for all of us, but be, you know.
Hey, look, I think it'd make the Gold Coast granny that much more special if Geelong got up. I do think that'd be very nice.
That would be kind of fantastic.
He does, he does leave a massive hole though, Tomahawk, being such a selfless player for so long. So, shout outs to an absolute legend.
As I said, Selwood as well. Like.
I mean, even in that grand final against Sydney, Hawkins played a huge game, you know, and he was tapping them out of the ruck and kicking goals that day, and that was only 2 years ago. So, you know, and he probably technically should be fairly fresh this year with a 7-week chunk off footy in the last probably 6 to 7 weeks off, you know, and not playing as big a role anymore. You could dare say you could almost unleash him for one big tilt if they can get his body right up and go, well, there's a month to just go hard, Toma, and retire with another flag. So I'm starting to like it more the more I think about it, actually.
It's shaping up as a pretty interesting. Shaping up as a pretty interesting last month of footy coming into last few games especially, but last month the finals are going to be insane.
Maybe he should have kept his retirements quiet. Maybe he should have.
That's good fuel for the team, I reckon. It's a good time. They probably sat around and gone, right, this is it. Finals pretty much start now. You know, and they can probably use this. Bit of distraction, bit of fuel. And, you just... But,
yeah, I feel like it's a not good distraction for Geelong. Like, they shouldn't be like, oh, Tomahawk's leaving. No. Focus on the season. Focus on getting shit done. Joel Selwood, he knew what was up. That's why he didn't announce his retirement until afterwards. So after the flag. So that was a great idea. That's what Tomahawk should be doing.
But, seems like a bit of a cop out, doesn't it? Announcing your retirement before the season's done.
I like it. I'm a fan of it.
Yeah,
But you got to get the respect. You want the respect, you know. If you know you're done, then that's good. You know, he's put a full stop on his career, and everyone can just show him his respect, and you'll get an awesome send-off.
Yeah, it feels a bit self-congratulatory. It does. It does seem like a bit like, hey, I'm retiring. Everybody, look at me. Instead of like, no, I'll keep it quiet until. You know,
it can be hard to make the decision though. I think he's one of those players you would probably just keep on playing on one more year, and then he just has to make the decision. So he's called it early and said, "No, I'm retiring. you can't will me on to play another year. No amount of money will get me back on the field."
Yeah, well, so sad. All right, let's move on to the next game. Saturday night football at the G. It's Collingwood versus Carlton. Collingwood 12-12, 84. Carlton 11-15, 81. Quite a close one. He's all hat, no cowboy. Ryan Big Wheel Fenton.
Hey, fellas.
Slide in quietly.
There you go, boys. I'm still celebrating. Can't the Cuddies.
Can we get back to the game?
Yeah, you missed it.
We don't go back to it.
You got to talk about Collingwood Carlton.
Move along. What a big game.
Oh, good win from the boys. Let's move on to the next game, I suppose. Yeah, wow. Wow, what a blockbuster. What a blockbuster this was going to be from the start of the game. Hey, guys. Walking in, you got, Scott Pendlebury's 400. That was always going to be big. It was, it's going to be hard to pick or choose them just for a tip, Blues versus the Pies, just for that factor. But wow, didn't the Pies, what is it? They got out to about a 37 6-point lead by the last quarter there, and then bang. De Goey went out with an injury. Looked like he's done his hammy rip for a bad one there for about 12 weeks, I reckon. And the Blue Baggers just fought back right to the end there and came down to the last kick of the night, didn't it, guys, with McGovern?
Yep, very disappointing. Very disappointing.
What a kick. They likened it to Kernahan's effort that time when he shanked it out of
Mate, absolute shank. It was something Matthew Richardson would have done, wouldn't it, back in the day?
Oh.
But wow, that was huge. I couldn't stop watching that. That was massive. And,
disappointing. For me, I tipped Carlton, and Remy, you tipped Collingwood.
Mate.
So
I enjoyed that.
McGovern, he's basically kept the Pies alive. That's as simple as that, isn't it?
Yeah, it was, and he's really put Carlton in it now too, because, I mean, they just aren't in a safe position anymore, Carlton. I mean, they're going to have a hungry Hawthorn this week to go up against. And, I mean, Jesus, they've come back to the pack quicker than...
quicker than a quick thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of fast things out there.
It's a lot of quick things.
Yeah, it's concerning for them at the moment, isn't it, with Carlton?
Yeah.
But, I mean, they weren't far off pinching it, so...
No, they were in there.
Patrick Cripps just tried everything he could in that last quarter, didn't he?
Yeah, old fish and chips himself.
Yeah. But another loss to Carlton.
Yeah, the big forwards were covered, though. The big forwards couldn't get firing for Carlton. They were covered well by Collingwood all night. No, Curnow was well
Curnow
covered.
didn't kick a goal, did he?
Darcy Cameron.
Curnow didn't kick one, did he?
Darcy Cameron
I think it's the first time in ages.
Rip a game in the ruck, and he was dropping off, like having a spell, was down back and marking it, having to intercept marks, and just having a presence everywhere. And it was awesome to see that. From a Collingwood perspective, that they're still in it. If they can nullify the best forwards, then they're always a chance in any game.
If they can win every game from here, it puts them on a run where they'd probably make it. And you feel like if they won every game from here, they'd have their tails up. I mean, off the top of my head, I know they've probably got Sydney this week, I think, and then I think they got Brisbane and then Melbourne. So, you know, they're going to fancy themselves in almost every one of them. I mean, Brizzy's a tough one, but Collingwood making it with 4 wins in a row, geez, they'd have a head of steam, and look out if you're playing Collingwood. So,
I don't think any of those games are easy for Collingwood. That's for sure.
Yeah, maybe the last one, but
a lot of games at the G too they've had, so they haven't had to really travel anything like that as well, have they?
Yeah, a bit of sour grapes there.
Still feel like they'll just miss though, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, but what a night for Scott Pendlebury though, wasn't it?
It was a good send off.
I thought they all played a bit harder for Pendles. They had to get over the line for Pendles.
Will they soften up next week?
Yeah, probably will. I'd say.
You know,
there was a couple moments late where actual Pendlebury almost saved the game for him too. It was unbelievable. He's just still in it, still got the skill, but he looks like he could go a couple more years, doesn't he?
Definitely. I think he'll definitely be going on one more. He'll have a big year next year, and then or is he going on for 2? Did he sign for 2, or was it 1?
I think 1 at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. You just can't tell what's going to happen in this last few rounds.
How was the photo of... And poor KB couldn't be there. He actually had a bit of a incident where he was in hospital. So we well wishes go out to KB as a 400-game superstar. But there was... The other 4 were there. We had Fletcher, Harvey... Burgoyne, and obviously Tucky. So yes, what a combine of players that is, with a wealth of games under their belt.
It's actually interesting. You see, most of them are more of the modern day player too. So you can obviously see, you know, the average from over all these years, they're starting to get more games out of the, you know, as time goes along from the players. So
yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? You would have thought it might have been a little bit reverse, but we'll see how that stat trends into the future.
Absolutely.
What
about you guys? What about you, Nathan?
Well,
got much
what can I say? It was a tight game. I was really invested in it. Probably a bit too much.
Yes, you weren't tipping well at this point.
You
tipped Carlton, you tipped Gold Coast.
Yeah. Saturday night was a bad night. Friday night was a really bad night. My weekend this weekend was pretty terrible overall, unfortunately.
Wait, who did you tip out of Richmond and North?
I did tip North.
Oh, okay, nice.
No, I didn't do too badly with the tips. I think somebody got really bad, but we'll get to that. But yeah, no, look, just interesting. Carlton, 8th. Just need to say it, 8th.
But what are they? They've lost. What is it? They've almost lost. Is it? They've lost like 5 out of 6 games or something, isn't it?
Yeah, they've lost a few. They've lost a few now. You know, Doggies they lost to, Saints they lost to. You know, Collingwood they've lost to.
It's like a big banana peel, Nathan. They're slipping on, isn't it? Not just one. They're slipping on a big one.
Just when I thought they were clear of the banana peel, they proved me wrong.
Carlton,
absolutely.
But it is
Carlton
interesting
have
for
lost
the game.
4 of their last 5 games, so yeah, it's starting to become a little bit concerning down there at the Navy Blues, isn't it?
Will they make it? Will they make it? Well, you know, we'll see what happens. You know, I think they've got a pretty easy run home from memory. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But finals contention.
What an absolute game.
Yeah, it was a good game. It was a good game. Now this game was surprising. Port Adelaide versus Sydney Swans, Saturday Night Football at Adelaide Oval. Port Adelaide 22-16, 148 to Sydney 5-6, 36.
Oh, something went horribly wrong.
Oh, it did, didn't it? Reeby, this was your first black mark of the round.
And it really upset me when I saw that Sydney hadn't scored in the first quarter to 7 goals, and then to proceed to just kick their first goal before half-time, right before half-time there, and to concede 13 goals, 8 to Port Adelaide. I mean, what a drumming it is at half-time at that point, and hats off to Port Adelaide going on to kick another 9 goals in the game. I thought Sydney might wrestle their way back in and maybe really kill the contest and try and just go down by 40 points or something. Yeah. No way. I mean, they ended up conceding 5 goals for the night, Port, which against Sydney is just remarkable. And they go and kick 22-16 themselves. It was just... didn't see it coming, did we? And, you know, all the stayers for Port. I mean, you can probably mention anyone in the side, but, you know, obviously you just had all the top liners in Butters and Rosie and Houston and Drew and Wines and
Georgiadis.
You know, just
Georgiadis kicking 4 goals.
They literally had it on a string there for a minute, didn't they?
Yeah.
Ridiculous to watch. Absolutely ridiculous to watch. But another Sydney, another team that's, I think they've only won 1 in the last 6 weeks as well, or something like that too, haven't they?
Yeah, they've been very underperforming as well.
Before that, it wasn't bad. They'd lost by a couple of points here and there. So that's the first really bad effort that I've seen.
Like, they've lost a few injuries. They've lost Rampy down back and whatnot. And, you know, is it injuries or just people just catching on with how they're playing the game?
They're definitely... I heard Kingy break it down a little bit where he really noted that they're just not kicking it down the line at the moment, teams against Sydney. They're just not kicking it down the line because Blakey's just sitting back there like Stewart, you know, and he's just patrolling the area. And I think teams have just woken up at a bit that Sydney are just cleaning up from people effectively getting strangled and kicking it down the line, where they're just turnover kings at the SCG. So Port on the weekend, hats off to them, just chipped it around and kept control of the ball until they broke Sydney because Blakey wasn't in the game. So, you know, I suppose you can keep 1 or 2 people quiet for Sydney, the right people. And Heaney as well. I mean, he was ranked number 1 in the competition up until round 10, 11.
Yeah.
The way he was using the ball, he wasn't having huge numbers, but he was just having impact on the game, getting 3 goals with 6 goal assists. And at the moment, he's ranked 156th in the game for impact on game.
His form's dropped as soon as the Brownlow dropped, wasn't it?
Off the charts. So, you know, you add that with teams not giving them back the ball as easily, and all of a sudden they're, you know, so teams have cottoned onto their game, but, you know, they've got a month to reboot, and I still feel like they'll find a way to be a finals team in September. You know, I think finals footy's different, and it's really an interesting time for a Sydney supporter, though, isn't it?
I think it's an interesting time for an AFL supporter.
Yeah.
So it was
With the game style, like you were saying, Reeves, I noticed last week, even the Swans against the Doggies, the Swans just kept getting forced to bomb it long, and the tools down back for the Dogs were just loving it all day long, and that's exact same thing that's happening.
So if they lose control of the game, it's interesting to see if they don't have another plan, and at the moment, they just don't seem to. Sydney,
What do we say about Port Adelaide and Ken Hinkley? All of a sudden they're third on the ladder. Hinkley's buddy looking like he can't go wrong.
They're lauding him down the streets of Adelaide. After a few weeks ago, they were booing him. But, isn't it just upside down at the moment? The form ladders where the Dogs, the Brizzy and the Port Power seem to be a few of the real form sides of the comp.
Yep.
Yeah, they've hit a stride.
Only a few weeks ago, a handful of weeks ago, all those coaches were right under the spotlight, and I do recall in Coach Watch just really saying, let's hold off, like these coaches are tactful, masterful coaches, and let's give them time.
We were calling for Bevo.
Nah,
Bevo should be sacked.
Coach
You were
Watch
saying
didn't
that.
want to go there, I backed him
since he's
all
lost
the
the
way.
granny. I mean,
And Fagan as well, with the noise at the start of the year. Any normal person would cave easily. He didn't. He just put his head down and went to work. And same can be said for Ken Hinkley, who only a few weeks ago had the
target. He had Coach Watch on him.
So I like to give all these people time.
Should give them apologies for putting that.
If they had been hearing Coach Watch shoot-offs going over their shoulder, they would have been nervous and they would have felt the pressure. So I didn't put that on them.
Look, there's a thumbnail where we got Coach Watch and a target on Ken Hinkley's head.
No.
Yes, we do. We have a thumbnail that has that.
Maybe for 1 week there I got on the bandwagon, but no, good on Kenny. I'm super stoked for him.
For sure.
And for Port Adelaide. Brizzy grand final.
Just
Doggies in there somewhere.
I just got a couple of quick stats to come out of that game, and it's Port Adelaide. They handed the Swans the 5th biggest loss in club history, and in doing that, they scored 90 points from intercept possessions and 57 points from clearances, while only conceding just 8 points from clearance chains.
And wasn't the horse galloping after that one, mate? He wasn't happy, was he?
He was hiding in the stables.
And it was also the biggest loss, Sydney's biggest loss in 30 years.
Damn.
It happens.
Yeah, so hopefully they can bounce back. But yeah, those are some pretty big stats and pretty damning stats. So they're probably the word's gonna get back to them pretty quickly, I would have thought. So I'll see how they bounce back. See if they've got that mentality. See if they're ready for it.
And I believe it's Collingwood this week too. I mean, what a game it builds up to be. Where a few weeks ago it didn't have much hype about that game at all. But
no, not at
now
all.
it's a real juicy one, isn't it?
Let's move on.
Just a quick one. With Sydney, hasn't the forwards really dropped off too? Yeah, I know they're losing games, but the forwards just have dropped off huge amounts, haven't they?
They've dropped off in every area just about. At this point, jeez.
Like Amadi Party's done nothing. He's closed the doors,
Yeah, he kicked 9 goals, won, then went on holiday.
He's kicked 5. Since he's 9, he's kicked 5 goals because he'd had 4 out of 5 weeks since the 9. So now he's kicked 5 out of 6 weeks.
And I think it was Papley's. Was it Papley's injured too or something? They got a couple of injuries to on.
Yeah. There was some concern with Papley. I think he's out. Was he out before the game?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was out before that game. Yeah,
he might have got injured last week. Yeah, and obviously Warner got subbed, so I'm not across what's happened with him. But I'm just trying to have a look at the injuries there. But Warner. I mean, all of a sudden their team could look different, very different from their strongest side on paper.
Even with the form of the Swannies, you don't really hear much about Grundy. Dominating the ruck now for All Australian and whatnot. It's gone all a bit quiet, hasn't it, too?
Yeah, he's dropped off. Maybe he's just burnt off. But maybe they're just burnt out from performing at top level all year.
Yeah.
And they've just gotten tired. And all these other teams are on the rise.
Port just had the power to win, didn't they?
They had a lot of
Port Adelaide aggression.
Exactly. Well, anyway, let's move on to the next game because we could talk about footy all night long. It is GWS versus Hawthorn at Manuka Oval. GWS 12-12-84. Hawthorn 12-10-82. GWS by 2 points. Feno, did I pronounce that right? Manuka?
No.
Manuka.
I don't know, mate. I can't keep up.
I'm a
I can't keep up with all these
horticulturist.
ground names.
Where was it in Canberra?
You know, the tree's pronounced Manuka,
Manuka.
but
No,
I guess I
Manuka.
think the place might be pronounced Manuka in Australia.
Manuka.
So I don't know.
I think it's Manuka, mate. We'll get there one day, mate.
But it is it's
God.
named after the tree, which is
I don't mean
Manuka.
to be disrespectful. I'm just stupid. All right.
We should do the pod from there one
Take your
time.
pick.
We'll drive up to Manuka Oval when there's a game. We'll go watch it, and then we'll do the pod. And we can come back and tell you all about Manuka or Manuka.
We could end up anywhere if we go Manuka. What a game, though. Far out. Another classic game this weekend.
A lot of
Far
close
out.
games this weekend. It was really good.
This was a ripper, wasn't it? I enjoyed
Oh,
this game.
couldn't stop watching that last quarter, man. That was ridiculous. Leading into that last quarter, I think they're at least 3 goals up, the Hawks or something like that, weren't they?
Yeah, at 3/4
Yeah, they
time,
just
really.
the Orange Tsunami just got going in that
Wrestled
last
it
quarter,
back.
didn't they? They just that run just kept happening, man. The Hawks couldn't really stop it, And then Jesse Hogan, I think he kicked 4 goals. Was it 4 goals? No,
Leading
5 goals, which got him. He's on top of the
He's leading.
Hogan's heroes.
leading Coleman medal now. So that was a really good win for the Giants because obviously everyone is well documented how hot the Hawks have been too the last probably 10 weeks. But they just needed that Orange Tsunami in that last quarter, man. That got them over the line. Other than that, it was looking pretty dangerous.
Yeah, but that first quarter mainly, Wolf, brutal. Can't be doing that against against solid teams.
Shows the Hawks side, man. They're capable of anything still. They got that loss, but far out. It's just
it's good
dangerous. Man.
signs.
Oh,
That's
that last
great
quarter.
signs still.
But just quick thing, Lockie Whitfield dominated again. I think we've spoken about him most weeks now, and he bloody tore it up again. So Rick will be happy about that one for his Brownlow odds. What else? Green. I think Green played well. But just a good win well-needed win for bloody Giants. Are they sitting 4th now? Then they're looking almost out of the 8 if they lost that. So
They'll take it any way they can get it, I think, at this point.
Oh,
It wasn't the prettiest of wins, but they got it done just in the last quarter, bringing what they needed, coming through with the goods.
Oh, I feel like that last quarter was very pretty. It was very satisfying watching a team come from that far behind.
Just
to snatch it at the end. It was, I was tense watching it.
I don't know if the GWS fans would be fully convinced at this stage, but
they're probably not happy with that first half, but that last quarter.
leaving
Like
the
you got to remember the
comments.
shows
Hawks
some
have
comments.
travelled
How you feeling?
from that last. You got to remember the Hawks from last week. They were from in Tassie to Canberra. Like they haven't even gone home. So it's like such a good effort from them. Like young side.
Yeah, they are at the bottom. They are on the rise, though. They've been in pretty good form, but well. All right, well, let's move on to the next game, shall we?
And just a quick update on the Coleman race there.
All right, give us a Coleman race update, then we'll go on to the next game. Come on.
We have Hogan at $1.72 now. Sorry, I didn't actually bring up the tally. I just wanted to give you the odds out there.
Okay.
With Charlie Curnow, $2.10.
Yeah, quite weak for Kerno.
Yeah, it's rare zero.
Yeah, so it's maybe
You
I'll
don't
try and
normally
find
see.
the
You don't normally see Curnow coming second.
No, you don't. All right, is that it? Coleman update done?
Yes, unless I find the actual tally, but I'll let you know when I find it.
Okay, please do. All right, moving on to the next game.
Oh, there it is. I just found it.
Okay, go.
Anyway,
58.
what Reeby's finding, I'll just say the Giants have found a bit of form too. I reckon the last sort of month they've started to hit their straps a bit too, haven't they? Still,
Yeah, 100%. At least they're getting things going, like finding that form that was there at the start of the year. So they've given the fans some hope, but I just don't know if they're fully convinced that it's going to be their year. But we'll see what happens if they can time their run, because there is still a couple games left. So it's been an interesting year so far. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do.
Okay,
time
stop
it well
interrupting
and
my Coleman update.
have a strong
It's meant to be-
presence come September.
We're doing a Reeby's Coleman update.
Finish your rabble. Hurry up, you motherfucker.
21 rounds down, and we have Jesse Hogan on 58, leading Charlie Curnow on 56. But this is where I feel like it could just get a little bit interesting. For a little bit of value, only 10 behind the leader is Jake Waterman, who is paying currently 100 to 1. So, geez, there's a sneaky.
You have,
Don't throw your money away.
Can you see who the best favourite for a small forward is there, Reeves? Is there a small forward?
Well, we got Jezza Cameron. Do we count him as a small forward? Or
Nah, he's a big boy on the wing.
Harry Mackay, we got Ben King, we got Jake Waterman, we got Joe Danaher, we got Josh Tracy, we got Nick Larkey. They're all very tall, all the people.
Yeah, all tall, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's interesting, those small forwards. I mean, I suppose they're just the amount of goals that the talls kick compared, but they kick a lot, don't they, the smalls, at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. There's normally couples sniffing around, but obviously not this year.
Yeah, I reckon.
Bobby Hill
I
could
reckon
have a
maybe
big
next year, in the next year or two, we might start to get one, like especially out of Hawthorn with like a Ginnivan, or Geelong might have one or two that really start to get up there close, and a few of these guys that are kicking. Stengel, if you can stay on the field, out of the bar, and yeah,
beautiful. Thanks for those odds, Reeves.
Are you done with your ramble?
It was a Reeby's ramble.
Did we have we done the Brownlow odds?
Can we move on to the next game yet?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Alright. It was Sunday football at the MCG. Essendon versus Fremantle. Essendon 13-12-90. Fremantle 14-5-89. Essendon by 1 point. Reeby, why did you tip Essendon?
I had it on a great suspicion that Essendon at home against the troubled travelling Freo, who didn't play bad, but I thought Essendon are just going to throw it to the Wolves here, and they did.
Okay.
And it was definitely just a little bit of a 50-50 shimmy, knowing that I was also going to tip St Kilda. So I thought I'll tip Bombers and St Kilda, and I'll snag one of them. And didn't the Bombers play well, though? Just to flip it around.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'll just say one thing, man. Draper was huge in that last minute, wasn't he?
Yeah. And the G. I mean, Essendon fans, if you're not hating the decision that the club made over 20 years ago now to move your club out of the MCG, it was the death of your football club. I mean, it's been almost a quarter of a century now. And the weekend typified why. Big games at the G, nothing's bigger. You become a harder club to play when you play at the G more often. And geez, I bet they're still sad, some of the supporters.
The dome opened in 2000, didn't it?
It was 2000, and here we are, 24 years on, and
they won. So I think it's since 2000. It's only Dons won the premiership that year, and I think it's only the Doggies that won a flag out of all those years that the teams that are at the dome.
Exactly.
It's a cold place.
Wheels. I mean,
it's a dark, cold place.
Hawthorn,
the dome?
Richmond, Collingwood, all these teams that play out of the G have all won their flags since, and it's a good excuse.
For the new age people, we're talking about Marvel, by the way, if they don't know what the dome is.
Oh, Eddie,
I think they know what the dome is.
The grass is shallow.
Stadium.
The soil, the grass always slips out there, and she's freezing as a fan to go there. I was freezing on the weekend. Oh, jeez Louise.
Hey, look, I have to say...
Did they have the aircon blowing hard, Steelo?
No, they need some heaters or something in there. Far out. It's absolutely freezing.
Are we trying to get back to the game here, Nathan?
A few more fans.
Anyway...
A few more St Kilda fans, maybe?
I just want to give this game... Chicken and a Biscuit Game of the Week.
Chicken and a Biscuit. They never fail to disappoint.
Hey, can you put that in your t-shirt? It sort of blends in with your t-shirt.
Where'd the box go?
Feel free to send us some packs. Absolutely, Lee Marvin out here.
Hey, Reeby, you better go get your chicken and biscuits, mate. You left them at Bruce's house.
Mate, they sling us that many boxes, good old chicken.
What do you mean? I bought these.
Good stuff, Good stuff. Great work.
Anyway.
Should we divert back to the game?
Another home team, though. Another home team gets the win.
Yes, it was quite a game.
I'm sorry, why don't you ramble about it?
I mean, they needed this to keep a pulse in the season, obviously, which has been a fantastic season. I think this is the bit that the club, really will be focused on during the week.
Yeah.
That this season is still alive for them, and what an opportunity, really, that they still have. They can still be in it, and it still looks a little tough for them to make it. They probably don't have the easiest draw coming home as well. Yeah. So,
like you said, though, it's gave them a bit of a heartbeat, though, hasn't it?
It does, and it's all the fans wanted on the weekend. I mean, they went there with their hearts in their mouth, just really hoping for the win. And but yeah, how was the finish there as well? It was really close, wasn't it? Was it Draper that took the mark?
Yeah, he took the ruck contest and then the mark,
the saving mark, and
in the last minute, mate, he was huge. But also too, with
Merritt, just one shout out again. I mean, he's got to be right up there in the Brownlow chances. I mean, I'll get over to the Brownlow odds later in the show, as when we have our moment for that. But he's consistently, especially when they're winning, being almost best on ground almost every time. So he's going to go huge in the Brownlow this year.
Steelo, didn't you have a stat for Sarong, mate?
Sarong? Oh, I can't remember Sarong's one.
So right.
Yeah, I wish I did. Oh, go, hit me with it.
I think you had one at the most. Didn't you have one of the most 20 consecutive possessions for so many games or something?
I think has he played the most consecutive games in the league now? I think I've seen that floating around. 29, I think it is, around there.
Yep.
And I think maybe taken over from Jack Crisp was the previous holder. I thought. Wait, but he's played. Wait, hasn't he played? That's a different stat, maybe. See, I didn't have the stat ready.
Good.
Yeah, don't put people on the spot like that, Ryan. It's rude.
I thought he had it.
Unfortunately, I didn't have the stat ready for you this time. I have seen something floating around about that.
Why don't you give us a stat,
it was BT. Sorry, it was BT. So, most consecutive games with 20-plus disposals is Sarong on 71, and he's gone past Jack McRae, Josh Kennedy from the Swans, Dangerfield, and Sam Walsh. There you go.
That's the stat.
That's the stat. That's the stat Steele I gave you before.
Good stat.
Yeah, I can't say it. You got to subscribe to Discord Nitro for better quality to be able to see it. Sorry. But yeah.
At $1.69 a month. That's all right. But yeah, and also huge loss of Freo. Like they could have been sitting second on the ladder if they won that one too.
I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah, those bums. They let me down.
Just made way for the Lions.
Just so wrong. Just not getting most disposals for me. Just let me down in my multi. I had a lot of multis just miss out by one leg this week, and I'm very unhappy about it.
Actually, right before the game started, I actually thought it was getting played at Marvel. Then I looked, it was the G. That's other than Jamie getting in my ear. That's what made me change my tip as well, knowing it was at the G. So,
bit of factor.
Yeah, no, well, look, I thought it was very surprising how many people backed Essendon, considering their most recent form. Like, they've lost a lot of games on the run to some teams they should have beaten. And, I feel like they pulled one out of the hat against Freo. Have been looking pretty good lately.
Some of us astute tippers, we find the little needle in the haystacks.
I think you guys are just like, we'll tip a roughie because sometimes roughies win. And that's what happened. Astute tippers my ass.
Absolutely.
Let's move on to astute tipping.
How good's Merritt's senior season been too, Reeves? Merritt.
Oh, mate, that's
Merritt, Martin, Parrish, all good.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to watch on Brownlow night, Merritt. I mean, he definitely didn't let himself down again on the weekend. Probably getting the 3, 2 to 3 there, and it'd be one to watch.
And Nathan, is your mate 2 metre Peter going to get back in the side, mate?
Needs to earn it.
Ooh.
No, well, look, we'll see. But yeah, just touching on the Brownlow, we'll be doing a Brownlow special, won't we? Live.
Well, yeah.
Yeah?
Good, mate. Good.
Will we?
I'm putting this out there now. We watch along to it.
Yeah.
If we get
for the Essendon fans, mate, Dersma's out for 3-4 weeks too, mate. He's done a hammy as well, so they'll lose a bit of speed there off the wings, half forward flank for the Bombers. Yeah, big out. He's been a good in.
If we get some support out there, then we'll do the online Brownlow, won't we, Nathan? If we get some comments and if we get a few people sort of voting for it.
Thank you for bringing it back after Ryan tried to change subject. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just don't know where people will be in Brownlow. I think
They'll be fucking watching. They'll be watching the Brownlow with their friends on Discord. Their friends at All for Footy.
we'll be all on our phones like this. Come on. I don't think any of our players are even... Lockie Neal's one of the favourites, so Steelo will be involved.
You know it. Time for the third.
But anyway, set up a TV next to your laptop that week, Wheels.
Oh, no worries, mate.
Just put a TV up so you can watch the Brownlow while streaming. That'll work well.
Yeah, no worries, mate.
Alright, you and me, Reeves.
Yeah, mate. I'll be there.
Alright, well, let's move on to the next game. It was, talk about astute tipping, Reeves. Tipping the Saints. It was St Kilda versus Brisbane at Marvel Stadium. St Kilda 5-9-39. Brisbane 19-10, 124. Brisbane by 85 points, crushing the hopes of all Saints fans. Steelo. Over the moon. How was it? You were there, yeah?
Yeah,
Can I just say one thing first? Is this the reason why the boys aren't in the same studio tonight? Like,
it might have caused a bit of a rift.
It did.
The Lions supporters were celebrating pretty hard on the weekend. It was probably should have spared a bit of mercy, but I mean, it was just good to see all the forwards firing. It was a field day for the forward line, really, and Lockie Neal and McCluggage were playing great games, feeding them in, but it was mostly, it was smooth sailing. It wasn't much resistance. The Lions sort of got their game going pretty well and pretty smooth, and whenever they were faced with pressure, they'd feed it off pretty cleanly with the hands, and then just looking like a well-oiled machine. Do you have something to say there, Fenno?
yeah, just got a question, mate, for Steelo. Did you end up getting to the game, mate?
I did indeed. Very much so. Yeah, down in the first row. I was loving it. I was stoked. It was sick. Beautiful. It was awesome to get. It was the last time. I think it might be the last time, or I think we might have Collingwood in the last round actually to see the Lions down here. But don't see them much. Only play 4 or 5 games.
What about finals, man? You might see some finals down.
And then
here.
Now looking like I'll be seeing them in the finals for sure. Definitely featuring. So
I think they'll probably end up with a home final start up though. Unfortunately.
I won't complain. I won't complain too much.
I wouldn't be complaining.
But players Rayner played an absolute ripper game. It's probably the best.
Say, man,
best game he's
took
played
the
all
words
year.
out of my mouth. The last month, Rayner has been unbelievable, hasn't he?
Definitely, just stepping up and just having more of a presence, making sure he has an impact in the games because he's always had that talent, but really now coming into his prime and getting that confidence, just having confidence now. He's still got room for growth, I think. So dangerous is a weapon, and like Darcy Wilmot, really a fixture now, always getting his 20 touches across the half back line. And just a solid player. He's just in his first proper full year. So just we've got a lot of depth at the Lions at the moment, and the VFL is going pretty well too.
What's going on with Hipwood at the moment?
Hippie, not too sure. He didn't look right. I don't know. Was he? I didn't see him much out there.
He didn't play. I don't think
I see him out there. So he came back for a week, and then I think he's gone back away. Maybe not right. Didn't come good after the injury. Still feeling a bit of residuals, and trying to get him right for finals because
he wasn't even playing.
When he plays, he can kick bags.
Because they've been putting him in the back. They tried him in the back a couple of weeks ago.
Nah, it's definitely not going to work.
You don't think it's going to work?
Nah, not Hippie.
I feel like that's a bit like,
He's one of the few players in the league that can actually kick goals.
From behind, mate.
He's probably good. Hippie's got a high percentage from outside 50. I can just... About 55 metres. You
keep calling him Hippie. You know people call me Hippie. It's very off-putting.
Right, he's the real Hippie.
Eric. We call him Eric.
I was Hippie before he was born.
Eric can bomb him from about 70 out.
What a season turnaround, mate. I think, weren't they hardly 6 wins, 5 losses at the start of the year. Now they've won 10 in a row or something like that, haven't they?
Yeah, they weren't up. They were doing pretty bad at the start.
Crazy turnaround between the two last... both last year's teams in the Premiership. Sorry, both of last year's premiers. I was going to say, is that right? Yeah, both last year's premiers. And,
Finals
we'll
players.
go with that.
Finals team.
And just a crazy turnaround. Collingwood smashing it out of the gates, and I thought, they're going to show us up again. And Lions have dropped off, and then now it's completely tables have turned. Lions flag favourites I've heard thrown around this week, and Collingwood really in distress.
You love hearing that, I bet.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it. It's hard to really judge the form against St Kilda at the moment. I think, don't know. What do you think, Reeby?
After round 6, Brisbane were 2 wins, so they were sitting 12th on the ladder. But only with the 2 wins there after 6 games, so it was a very slow start there, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it took them ages to win a game at the Gabba too, from memory.
Yes.
I can't believe that. Like,
And
how
then
do
they
the
lost.
Saints come out from smashing the Dons the week before and then coming out and put a performance like that? Like, how do you read that sort of form line? Like, really?
I think that's just Brizzy. I mean, I'm looking across the game a fair bit there. Saints had a lot of highly rated players in the game on the day, so it's interesting to get a read on it for St Kilda. I mean, Sinclair was one of the top Supercoach player on the field for the day, with his 30 touches and 130 points. And Rowan Marshall had a really big day, kicking 2 goals, and he scored 130 points as well.
Those two players step up most weeks, though, no matter what the result, don't they? Really
do. So, but it's either more concerning for St Kilda to get done by 100 and you got the top-rated players on the field, or Brisbane just at the moment. I just think their level of depth of quality players just way stronger than St Kilda. So, we just didn't trouble them. Even when we won the footy, they were just too clinical in the way they turned it over, and they were able to take it down to the other end and have options galore. I was really impressed with the amount of options Brisbane had when they'd turn the ball over and go forward. They could pick between 2 and 3 different options. A lot of teams only have the 1 and 2, usually, main targets, and all day, some of the good running by the players to produce another option, the Saints defenders just couldn't stay with them at all. So, yeah, very impressive, Brisbane. Very, very impressive. And, yes, it's funny, in the week when I'd put up Brisbane and Port Adelaide as my 2 random grand final likelihoods, they both go out and win by 100 points on the weekend. So, very interesting to note for all you listeners out there who want to make free money.
Free goddamn money. Alright, well, with that, let's move on.
Go Lions.
Go Lions indeed.
Have the Saints just basically packed up, mate? Oh, that's it? Just
That's it. Of course
they went
it's
into
it.
the game really anticipating an upset. They really, really did. And, started with a little bit of pressure, but the scoreboard pressure, I think, got to them a bit towards the end of the game there. But I still feel like next week we got Richmond, which is known as the Dusty send-off game, even though he's not actually playing. So, you really feel like the club's going to want to march up with a victory there and, just get some points on the board again. And then we back it up with the Cattery. The Cattery and the Blues, which, for the club, 2 big games, at the Dome.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I don't think you guys are getting another win.
No, but just big games, and I think you just enjoy them as a footy club. So there's no packing up that goes on, mate. I wouldn't buy into that in this. I think really look forward to. I think Carlton. We could pinch Carlton.
So there's not many players that need to go in for surgery and whatnot. They're all pretty healthy.
I think a bit of that's been done already. With obviously you had Liam Ryan a few weeks ago, but. Yeah, so good to see Membry getting back out there and sort of going around, but
excuses.
Yeah, there'll definitely be one eye on next year at the moment, but you got to get games into these youngsters, and what a time to do it in big games like against Geelong and Carlton coming up. So
yeah, you got to get games in them, and we've got to move on as well to the next segment. So that was this week's games. So let's move on to tipping results. Unfortunately, Steelo, 1 out of 9.
It was an absolute horror show. The Lions got up for me in the end, though. I've gone the away teams this week. It was an absolute debacle.
The lines got up for you. For what, all away teams?
Yeah, all away teams. I realised that I didn't put my tips in. I hadn't put them in, but I thought I'll just roll with it. We'll see what happens, and it was a horrible week to do so.
Oh, wow, that is funny. I did notice at one point that pretty much every single home team had won.
There were some close ones, though. There were some close ones. But the Lions got up for us, so it all worked out for me.
But also, that's a bit cheap because that's just all the people who didn't put their tips in got one. The next, the people that didn't get one got two. Running late, I think that's Luke, and Paddy Reeby.
Oh, Paddy!
Putting his tips in, but just missing the mark.
He got two, Paddy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And also, shout out, couldn't be on the pod tonight, Mr. Rick Parker. 8 out of 9.
Oh,
Congrats.
sure he didn't tip St Kilda.
Good effort this week.
I'm sure it was the Sydney game that got him. Surely.
Gee.
Surely.
Wouldn't have been the first game.
Hang on. I want to find out because he's jumped up.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it
he
was,
tipped
Nathan.
Sydney.
It was the Sydney one, mate.
All right. So let's get into our rankings. Steelo, 17 on 106. I'm sorry, tied with Paddy. He just got 2.
Tough week.
You got to put your tips in, bro. Who's your tips?
I'll be back. I'll bounce back. Make it the first 9.
Coming in at number 10 on 114. Big Wheel. What's going on?
I went up 2 this week. I went up 2.
You got to do better though. You got to do better to be at the top.
Shit house, mate.
But yeah. Anyway, and then the top 5. Julian, 118. My dad, 118. Me, 118. Then second, I'm coming third, but second, my mother, 120.
yes. My favourite Norman.
Because she's my favourite Norman as well. What a coincidence. And, yeah, Mr. Daniel Reedy, 124. Just what a round. You had a good one. But so did my mum. 7. A few people got 7. A fair few people got 7. Mr. Big Wheel, you got 7.
No, the round wasn't that hard. Like, really.
Shut up, you.
Look, you don't do well in tips unless you tip your own team. So, and your team has a good year. So,
but if you didn't tip your team, you would have gotten 8.
Yeah, but I'm still leading the tips, and I tipped my own team. So that's
Well, you weren't as good as Rick this week.
Just tipped the home teams. You would have got 8. It was good. It was good. Easy round.
You should tip all the home teams next week, Steelo, and see how you go.
Oh.
I might have
just
to.
don't put your tips in, mate.
Their ways don't work, that's for sure.
All right, moving on to Wheels of Fortune.
Oh, whoa! I feel like I haven't done this for a while.
Turning, it's a circle. It's a circle.
Do I get the tick 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 tick?
You get nothing. All right, we've given you what you're getting. Now give us what we want. Wheels of Fortune,
yeah, all right.
brought to you by Technique Carpentry.
Yeah, there you go. You've said it all for me, mate. Thank you very much. Good job there, Nathan. I'm still waiting for the sponsor to come up in the corner, but that's okay. We'll work on that. Yeah, it's been tough. I've been away for a couple of weeks, but we're all getting through it, so it's good work from everyone. We actually lost 3 players this week, actually. So your parents, Nathan and Julian, all eliminated for not getting their answers in.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Wasn't for not getting your answer in, was it? I was going to say
They
because
forgot.
Hawthorn lost.
Mate,
Isn't it when Hawthorn lose that was going to be bad for someone?
It's so when it's for when like whoever I say, you can't say after later on. So say example, Rob's said Melbourne, but he said it like 3 weeks ago, so it doesn't matter. But it's more after. So so for example,
Essentially when you run out of names to say.
Yeah, that's right. So basically, you just got to be ahead of me, really. That's all it is. So for an example, I chose Hawks, but Rick hasn't chose Hawks yet, and so he's got that on the back burner where he can't say it. So that sort of situation. So and Nathan, I think you're doggies. You can't say doggies.
Can't say doggies, but doggies looking fucking hot. Yeah. I'm happy. I'm happy with that.
If you actually have a look at this game, still today, it's going to have to change next week. Not any of the teams are in the 8 yet. So this team actually got a win on the weekend, which I was freaking out a bit. And they got a tough run home, though, the next 3 games. So this week, guys, is...
That was a drum roll. That was a shit drum roll.
Essendon
Football Club. It's risky, but I've put them out there, and too bad. Season over, Essendon.
The Essendons are gone.
Essendon can't win.
The Essendons.
So if you look at the 8 at the moment, all the teams that aren't in the 8 have been eliminated. So unbelievable how it's worked out. It's going to get tough, though, because we've got, 3 games left of the year, and now you're going to have to start picking teams that are in the 8 at the moment. So it's going to get really juicy. But, Nathan, I think you're the only one in the house that's still in, aren't you? So.
That's it.
Good effort.
Steelo's not in. Folks aren't in.
Wait, what about Knackers? Isn't she still in?
Oh, yeah, we'll just add Knackers in.
No, he doesn't get a third guess.
Oh.
Mate, seriously, everyone that's been out of the game... Everyone that's been out of the game is just because they haven't got their team in on the Friday night or the Thursday. That's it. It's it. So nothing to do with the results of the game.
How many people left in
before Friday, guys?
How many people left in?
Well, I think there's about 10 still in there. So we lost 3. Yep, I reckon about 10.
We lost so many. We lost so many people to just being terrible. This is good stuff.
Unbelievable.
That $200 gift voucher's mine.
Bloody jar. Lazy man.
It's mine.
Unbelievable. But yeah, I think it's Tyson and Hutchies they've been right every week so far, so they've been unbelievable.
Don't remind them to get their answers in. You got to stop reminding them.
Mate, I don't want anyone to win.
You got to stop reminding them. No, the last person surviving wins.
No, the last person wins. The last person wins.
Yeah. I'm gonna create a game. The prize is this much, but nobody's gonna win because I'm gonna fucking stack the cards against you. Like that other game you did, you schmo. Anyway, let's move on to this week's tips. Guys, all right. I feel weird. Usually, I throw to Raby first because he's sitting next to me. Raby's not sitting next to me. Raby, I'm not throwing to you first. I'm gonna save you till last.
This feels weird.
I'm gonna save you till last now.
He got what he wanted.
Bit of separation.
So you can do a ramble, and then we can move to the next game. So that's
thinking
it.
time. No, the first person always does the ramble, so I'll look forward to you giving me a bit on the game, and then we can all just give quick answers after.
Sure. All right. The first game, Sydney versus
It's Steelo's new role. Little ramble.
All right. Friday night football at the SCG. Sydney versus Collingwood. Steelo, who do you have?
Ooh, to start off the round, Sydney, are they going to come back and perform in front of the big crowd back at home?
Back at home against Collingwood. Wounded. They're wounded.
They've got a lot to play for, the Swans. So, it's going to be a huge game.
They stepped up for Pendles. Could they step up for...
Yeah, and on the other side, that's Collingwood's story. They stepped up for Pendles. A lot of the players, played their heart out and only just got over the line still. So I don't know if they're going to make it. It's going to be they're going to make it a tighter game than what it looks initially. Well, I guess Swans are going in favourites, but no, I'd say this is a pretty even game, honestly. Swans will be made for me just by 2 goals, I'd say.
All right, fair enough.
I reckon Swans just by 2 goals.
Wheels, who you got?
Oh yeah, man, this is a tough one. If you go off bloody form, far out. I reckon the contested tight game at ground at the SCG there. Hopefully the Swannies can get themselves back on track. I just feel like De Goey's a big out for the Pies, that big body mid. I just reckon it's a tough one, but go on the Swans, mate.
Go on Swans. Reeves.
Yeah, so look, I'm definitely going to have to go with Sydney in this, I think. Yeah, just a little bit of a far travel for Collingwood up there.
Yeah, and their form is just not on point. So, God, Sydney have got to come back soon. Like, come on. They got to show up after their performance last week.
Sorry, mate. Sorry to interrupt. Steelo will be hoping they lose this one for sure.
Yeah, I do hope so.
Oh, yeah. Wouldn't that be great for Brizzy?
There would be.
Yeah, as long
It
as
would make the competition so interesting if Sydney slip up this week, actually, yeah.
As long as Collingwood definitely don't beat us in another granny. As long as that doesn't happen, then I'm all right.
He's honest. He's honest, folks. All right. Well, there we go. Sydney across the board. All right, next game. Brisbane versus GWS Saturday football at the Gabba. Steelo, do you have a tip against your team?
The Brizzy game? No, I would never bet against them, but definitely I do tip against them occasionally. Yes, I'm I'm an honest tipper.
All right, good. You're not one of these delusional fuckers.
No.
Yeah.
I think I know the Lions game better than any other team, so I try to be honest.
No, good.
I reckon we should get it done pretty easily back at home. Hopefully we don't have big heads or anything. GWS, they got a little bit of confidence coming off the last quarter of the last game.
Oh, but that was just one quarter. If they come to Brisbane at the Gabba with what they brought in that first half, they're going to get smacked.
Well, that's it. We should be able to continue our run and build some more momentum. And just, maybe rest a couple players, though, I reckon. Maybe rest a couple. I don't think we'll be seeing Hippie come back.
I will not be playing, do not worry.
And I wouldn't. I mean, wonder if would you even rest Lockie Neal? I think he's got that mentality. He just wants to play every game, but you'd almost rest him.
No. Keep him warm. Keep him fired. Going into the finals. He's just got to persevere. So Brisbane, fair enough. Ryan, Big Wheel, Fenno, we got.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I'm just checking the weather result. Apparently it's going to be raining over the weekend, so I just thought I'd look at that. So I reckon it's going to be actually a bit tighter than a lot of people reckon. Tipping Brizzy, but I reckon it's going to be an old sloppy game, that one. So go to Lions.
So sloppy, don't you think, Reeves?
Yeah, look, it's really going to be hard to see the Giants getting up at the Gabba. So I think I'll stick with the home side here.
There we go. All right. Well, yeah, I think I'll be back in Gabba back in the Brizzy as well, because GWS didn't impress me last week. Let's get on the friend train for Steelo.
Good man.
All of us riding on. All right, now moving on to the next game. It is North Melbourne versus the West Coast Eagles Saturday football at Bluntstone Arena. Steelo, who you got?
Oh, jeez, a bit more interesting than what I would have originally thought, but I don't know.
17th, mate, 16th.
I think I might have to just get on the North back at home, just for my mate Caleb, and all the North fans have been doing it tough. That's what I'll do.
Yeah. Wheels.
Yeah, it's in Tassie, mate. So I'm going to go the Kangas, but Reeby doesn't this one take you back to the 90s, mate. Good old Wayne Carey, Glenn Jakovich days, mate.
Oh, there's some rippers between these two teams.
Classics, mate.
AFL 99, they were two of the highest rated teams in the game. I mean, they were just ripper teams in that PlayStation game. But,
and you had Sumo as well.
Yeah, Sumich.
Oh, yeah, Peter Sumich. I don't know if he made the PlayStation game. He was retired by then. But
he was there.
Yeah, I'm tipping North, and Reeby, you got a bit of a soft spot for both these sides, don't you?
Oh, I mean, it just takes me back. We've just got to stop it, right? I'm doing too much reminiscing. But just on a more serious note, I feel like this is easy money for North. I mean, West Coast, coming off a big high last week, they play well at home. They don't travel overly well, especially not down to Tassie. I mean, it's not exactly kudos. North have their tail up a bit at the moment, especially got a lick of the blood last week. Just a little taste of blood. And now this week, going down to Tassie, and I reckon Clarko's going to have them primed. Lucky's coming off 5. And, it'll be a big game. I mean, obviously West Coast will back themselves, but, North, to me, they could go back-to-back here. And who would have thought a handful of weeks ago that North could get back-to-back wins? So, tipping North all the way.
There we go. All right. Well, Reeby's got a soft spot for these teams. Well, I've got some hard spots for him. I'm going to back North. Back North. I'm backing North. They're going to get the job done at home. They've got momentum after last week's win. Come on, North. Pull through for me. I want to see you get a win.
Whoever wins this could be because you got North sitting 17th, Eagles sitting 16, but one game difference, but a bit of percentage. So North could jump Eagles if they win this one.
Yeah, it'd be then maybe they don't want to then.
Could it be?
Hey, we'll see.
Yeah, could it be a win that you don't want to win? You know, that could be a loss.
Well, it is funny that last year didn't North beat West Coast and it cost them potentially getting Harley Reid. So, you know, you look at it like that, this game almost lines up again the same way. But I just don't think you worry about it when you play, do you? You just get out there and see leather and smell leather and get leather poisoning. That's what you do.
Well, there we go.
Once you cross the line.
North Melbourne across the board, it seems. But hey, it could go either way. Well, I'm sure we're both aware. And yeah, just want to... the odds, North Melbourne, $1.62, West Coast, $2.30.
Oh yeah, nice bit of value about North there.
North Melbourne going in favourites. Alright, moving on to the next game.
Wardlaw's had a concussion for the last couple of weeks too, mate. He's been out, which has affected his rising star, odds too. So. Oh no, well... Saturday afternoon football
another shout out
at the Optus Stadium, Fremantle versus Geelong. Steelo, who do you have between Fremantle and Geelong?
I just got Freo in this one, mate.
Got Freo in this one.
Sorry, Fano. Sorry to say, Wheels. I reckon, Freo might just back on home turf. Just get the job done for the big crowd. I don't know how Geelong are going to travel after the news of Tomahawk splitting. Might just demoralise them a little bit for a week, and might lose a bit of air in the tyres. And I reckon Freo probably might get the job done by a fair margin, probably about 6 goals.
Oh, fair enough. Wheels.
Yeah, I'm going to tip Fab's Freos, mate, this week too. Actually, I feel like the Tomahawk thing shouldn't come in too much play because I think he might try and still play a game at the end of the year. Yeah, but I'm more concerned at the moment about DK getting injured too, if he's going to be playing or not. So we might be missing our best backman there. So I'm tipping Freo, mate, at this stage.
There you go, Raby.
Just while we're still on the North Melbourne West Coast game, just a quick shout out to Jackson Archer for Rising Star last week from North Melbourne, and that's their third of the year. So it's a good sign for North going forward. That I
didn't want to bring him up because I didn't know if you'd spoke about him or not. So that's well done there.
Yeah, he slipped through the net. So anyway, going forward, I mean, I'm going to be having to tip Freo here. I know they play well when they get back home, and coming off the loss, I just really feel like they'll get the job done against the Cats here. But what a ripper game. Real ripper game, isn't it? It's really going to be on for young and old, this one.
It's going to really hurt the Caddies, though, if they lose this. Like, we just bottom of the 8, if that, it's tough.
Really, whoever loses this probably loses that top 4 sniff. Yeah. So this game is for the top 4, and you win this and you can get one more out of the next 2. But, you guys have the Saints and then you finish with West Coast down at Geelong. So you can almost pencil a win in, maybe 2 wins out of the 3 almost with your draw. You don't have the hardest draw. So, yeah, hopefully you get 3 out of 3 and make that top 4, top 2.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, look, I'm going to be riding that friend train alone, it seems. I'm going to be back in Geelong.
Tipping him.
No way.
Love to tip him this week.
Come on,
this could be the one, Nathan.
I want a Geelong granny. I want a Geelong granny in the Gold Coast this year, alright? That's what I'm after. That's what I'm crossing my fingers and I'm wishing upon a star and all that nonsense. So, look, I'm going to get behind the Cats. Because I don't always tip the favourites like you guys.
No.
Yeah. Moving on to the next game.
If Geelong make the granny, what if Wheels just rolls down here to the granny?
Geelong Brizzy granny here.
He won't, he's too much of a pussy. Everywhere. He can't stand the cold.
That's alright, I know how to get into his backyard, I'm telling you. We'll just still have the granny date his. We'll be right.
Hey, the pod will be going for a week straight if Geelong win the granny, mate, I'm telling you.
It's a low riding offence.
Come out for the after party.
So, you won't have kids for that time period. They just won't exist.
No way.
Alright, moving on to the next game. It is Saturday night football at Marvel Stadium. Essendon versus Gold Coast. Steelo, who you got?
Oh, you got to go with the Bombers here because the curse still remains. I think Brisbane sort of had a bit of a fluctuation in there, but no, tip the Dons here comfortably, back in a little bit of form, and maybe not too comfortably, but getting the job done pretty handily.
It is Gold Coast.
It's all on Gold Coast to put in a good effort and see what they've got. And hopefully they can put a good showing in because pretty embarrassing so far, the away performances, I would have thought.
Yeah. Wheels, who you got?
Yeah, back at Marvels, like you're saying, Stilo. I'm going to tip Essendon. I think that game against, because Suns lost against Eagle, that's pretty much put a nail in the coffin for their season too. I don't think they can make it. So I feel like it's season done, and Essendon will really want to win this one and give themselves a better chance, more chance. So
absolutely. Reeves, go on a ramble for me.
Oh, look, I just constantly throw words around in circles, and sometimes I come back to the same answer, and that answer is that I'm not a huge fan of the Bombers, and I'd love to see Gold Coast get one win this year. Wouldn't it be great if they win one away from home this year? And wouldn't it be great if it was against the Bombers? They're coming off a win last week, but at the G, now they're back at the Dome. It's going to be good conditions. And we saw Gold Coast last week play fairly well against West Coast, although just choking up in the last bit. And I think they'll keep that desperation. Dimmer will be really keen to salvage something out of the year. And I wouldn't be surprised if this game's a dead 50-50, and I'm going to give Gold Coast the tip here. I reckon I'm going to go my one random game for the week here, Nathan, and throw it out there that Gold Coast might just pinch it.
Oh, fair enough. Well, the curse continues. Gold Coast lose away. Next, Saturday night football at the G is Melbourne versus Port Adelaide. 12th versus 3rd. Steelo.
Oh, this game saddens me that I think Melbourne have probably dropped off now and Port are in form. And I think Port will be challenging pretty strongly here and wanting to get used to the ground come finals. So, a little pre-final showing of Port. I might get down there, I reckon, have a little look-see. And I reckon should be probably a bit of a trouncing, and they'll get the job done. I reckon 40 points.
Wheels.
Can the D's do it? Can they do it?
We could, but we won't.
Is Stephen May out? He done his ribs again or something, hasn't he?
Who?
Stephen May. I think he did his ribs again.
I saw himself go off last week. Yeah, I thought he looked pretty sore.
He might be back. I don't know.
Man,
I heard that he might have done the ribs again, but so D's need to win. Can D still make it or not?
Well, yeah, it's just mathematically.
We'd have to win all 3 games. I don't see that happening.
D's. I'm tipping the D's. Go the D's.
Okay. Going the D's. This is his last-ditched effort to get that free dinner at the Burleigh Heads Pavilion on the. I will be going Port Adelaide by a country mile here. I'm with Steelo, 40 plus.
I hate to admit it, but yeah. Port
Especially
Adelaide.
at the G. They're going to love getting on the
40
G
plus.
and going, right, guys, this is the footy ground. And
this is where we're playing for the flag this year.
It'll be dangerous.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, hold on, I'll change my tip to Port if Stephen May doesn't play, though.
Good contingency.
Fair. All right, well, I assume all of us tip in Port. So let's move on to the next game. It is Carlton. Sunday football at the G. Carlton versus Hawthorn. Steelo.
Hawks have just been playing so well and just keep on outperforming my expectations. This is probably a hard one to tip at the moment. I think, I'm going to have to go Carlton. I don't think they've got too many barriers stopping them from playing good footy, so I think they should be able to, assert themselves as a decent chance at winning the flag this year. I would have thought, like with the way they've played so far, or else if they do lose this, kind of throw the baby out with the bathwater and season over.
Wow.
So yeah, I've put it all on the Blues to win this.
Fair.
Very important game, I would have thought.
Wheels.
Yeah, this is another tough one with, the form of the Blues dropping and the Hawks rising, sort of.
Hawks on the come up.
I almost can't even tip this one. Has anyone got a coin on them? I'll flip a coin for this one.
I'll flip. Ready?
Get your own coin.
Who do you want as heads?
I'm going. Heads for Blues, mate.
Tails.
Oh, the Hawks then. Shit. All right, go the Hawks.
Raby, who you got?
Look, I would also have to flip a coin on this one, but my coin landed on heads. So I will be tipping the Blue Boys.
Oh.
I think season's a little bit dashed here for the Hawks. I think they tried hard, and even last week, gallant in defeat, and they probably know it, and they'll be trying hard this week because they still know if they win every game, they're a sniff. But I just think, they might be running on ice a bit now. Younger side, really good for the run this year. But the Blues, they have to be too experienced and get this game done. If they're going to do anything this year, this is it. This is the start of the finals campaign. So I'm just going to back him in.
No, fair enough.
But
Well, I'm backing Hawthorn. Let's go. Fairy tale finals story. Carlton's
Nice.
slipping. They've slipped on the banana peel. You think they'll get back up? I think they're still on the fucking floor, flapping around like a fucking fool. So,
So if Hawks win that, they kick the Blues out of the 8.
they do.
no, they don't. I don't know.
They'd go
I
over.
don't think so.
Oh, it depends on percentage. Percentage, they might not.
I don't think they'll
hard
get
thing-
there with the percentage.
The hard thing for Hawthorn is that they have the worst percentage of any team. Oh, no,
Yeah.
Essendon's got a worse one than them, actually.
But
But,
if that happens
I
and Essendon win,
think
Essendon knock Carlton out of the 8. So
Yeah. So if Hawks win and Essendon Blues are out, yeah. Oh,
Yeah, Hawks, I mean,
massive. That's massive.
Hawks have always been just that one game behind all year, where they kept winning but just not pushing into the 8. But they're, wouldn't they love to upset Carlton's season though, Hawthorn? I mean, they'll be trying their hardest, but
this will be an interesting one.
Appeal.
Carlton paying $1.90, Hawthorn paying $1.94.
Ooh, value for Carlton then, sure.
So think about that. So anyway, I'm backing Hawthorn. All right, next game. It is Sunday afternoon football at Marvel Stadium. It is Richmond versus St Kilda. Steelo.
Oh, the Saints. Come on, the Saints. Get back on the bandwagon and do something here.
Yep, let's do it.
Philippu's going to kick 5. Who else?
Jono's gonna kick
Mason
2.
Wood might kick one this week.
Hopefully Higgins bags one. He didn't
And,
fucking kick one for me last week.
Yeah, Higgins. He should have a few snags.
Better.
And get the barbecue going. Richmond just put a nail in the coffin.
Put a line through him.
Just hammer it in heavy. Get the sledgy out.
Absolutely. Wheels, get the sledgy out?
Yeah, mate, big sledgy. Why would Richmond have this game at Marvel? Like, what is going on there? Like, do they have to sell? They have to sell one off every year or something, don't they?
Must be.
Possibly. Something like that.
They call this one the Higgins and Butler Cup. But,
I don't think they do. I don't think anybody calls it that. I think you made that up just then.
I'm tipping the Saints, mate. I reckon they're going to flog them with that run and speed. And do they still do the Matty thing there, Reeves, or is that all finished up, mate?
It should still be the Matty game. I mean, we don't hear as much about it with neither Rewalt still playing anymore, but I mean, I'm sure it's still the Matty's game, unless they did it in the one where they played in Adelaide this year. I feel like I remember hearing about it. No, I think I remember hearing it at that. But, yes, if not, otherwise this week would be it. But, look, I'll just be one-eyed saining here, and hopefully Dusty's sitting in the crowd with a nice bag of jam donuts and everything else he needs to get through the game, and enjoys watching the Saints put one on against the Tigers. But they're calling it the Dusty farewell game.
Yeah. And
So
King
they might
is
give him a
far out. King's season's over.
His season was over numerous weeks ago when they put him in for
Ages
surgery.
ago, mate. Ages.
I thought so. Just wanted an update because I forget these things. I'm not a fucking nerd.
Yeah.
All right,
So is Dusty going to come back and play it all? Is he full done?
I think he's done.
He's done. Well, at the moment he's retired, effectively. So you just don't know with Dustin Martin, but you'd lean towards him just hanging him up, wouldn't you? He's done all he can do in the game.
There was this thing between him and management, so it's sort of like, fuck yous. So
yeah, I mean he's done that much, and I mean, look, I would love to see him try and go on. But it just doesn't feel like he's, like I said a few weeks ago, with the money that a club would have to pay for a guy that gives zero defensive pressure, and you're really buying a final specialist. So
yeah, no, I mean, like, is he playing again this year? Like, is he going to have the last game?
No, he's retired effectively.
Oh yeah, so not even the last round or nothing.
All right,
wow.
I too am going for St Kilda. There we go. Let's move on to the next game. Everybody went St Kilda, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, thanks.
Alright, moving on to the next game and last game of the round. It is Sunday afternoon football. That Adelaide Oval is Adelaide versus the Doggies. Steelo.
Oh, Doggies gonna... Oh, yeah. Doggies... I reckon they'll continue the form. I've got to tip them now. I've lost so many tips for the Doggies since earlier in the year, saying I can't tip them, but they've proven themselves. This might be a hard game to jump back on the bandwagon. It's moving pretty fast at the moment. The bandwagon, it's a bit rickety.
Just move forward.
Wobbling from side to side. I don't know if I can jump on.
You can catch up.
But I reckon I'll get on board.
Yeah. All right. There you go. You're on board.
I'm pretty athletic. I'll make it.
Good. Big Wheel.
Yeah, where are we? Adelaide Oval.
Yep.
First hand, I saw him playing pretty good against the Caddies last weekend. So
I did too.
Missing Isaac Rankin though, but oh my god! Oh, do you know what? I'm gonna reckon this is gonna be one that the Dogs are gonna regret losing, and I'm gonna tip the Crows. I just feel like they're just gonna pop them out of nowhere and get the win here, the Crowbaggers. So Crows, mate.
Fair enough. Rebby, who you got?
Yes, it has that vibe about it, doesn't it? I mean, being in Adelaide as well, you just can't help but feel like it evens the game up a bit more. Dogs have been playing really well, especially the stretch when they beat Sydney, Carlton and Geelong, maybe it was, when they had the 3 really hard games in a row there. Beat Melbourne now on the weekend again, 4 in a row, big games. Let's give it to them. Let's give Adelaide a sniff. I'm on it. I'm already weighing it up. I really feel like that recent form is a bit harder to read than when you look at the ladder. I don't think the ladders... They normally say the ladder doesn't lie as the season wears on, but this year I feel like the ladder's telling a few fibs. So I just think, but yeah, I'm going to go with Adelaide.
Oh, fair enough. Well, I can't believe this. You mean Wheels all back in the Crows?
But I definitely reckon it will be a slip by the Doggies, and then after that they're pretty right to carry on the year playing very good footy. So,
and this is a very surprising thing. I thought I was going to upset everybody by being the only person tipping the Crows.
But I didn't see you say the Crows.
Yeah, we're all going Crows except for Steelo.
And I meant to say that.
Yeah, well,
but I was going to pinch the tip.
You never know. Hey, you got to remember, look, the Dogs have been good the last sort of 6 weeks, but they can still be very hot and cold.
Yes, exactly. I'm waiting for the cold.
Yeah.
And I think that's this week. So,
wow.
Adelaide have been playing surprisingly well. It's understandable.
Yeah.
So
they got a bit of a flogging from the Hawks 2 weeks back, but other than that, they have been,
Yeah. Well, that's it for our tips this week. So let's move into closing thoughts. Ryan, Big Will Fenton, closing thoughts.
Yeah. I haven't had one for a while. I don't know. I don't really have one sorted. What do we got? So,
have you seen a movie lately? You eating a good meal? Got a favourite snack these days? Come on.
Not much, mate. I'm just trying to wind in for the rest of the year. When 3 weeks left on the home and away season, just taking it easy, mate. But I'll probably head down to the local footy club. Oh yeah, little Louis finished footy for the year too, guys. So that's all done.
Yeah, he got his medals last week too.
Yeah, that could have been a good closing thoughts. But yeah.
Yeah, that was good, mate. That was awesome for the club putting that on. But now might put some attention into the big boys, the seniors. They're sitting about fifth on the ladder. They're actually struggling a bit, and they need to get a win this week against Labrador. And my mate, actual James Frawley's put it out that he's going to start playing the VFL Suns back at it. So that was interesting news.
There we go.
Yeah, so the boys, the Lions need to get back on track, mate. They're actually struggling. And Sunday, we actually had... and the little one's doing gymnastics too now, so she's enjoying that. That's
cool.
On Saturdays too. And Sunday, I'll be going for a swim because we missed that last week because the heater was out on the pool. So get back at that and tune in for my second favourite podcast on the Sunday, Nathan. I think we missed out last week, mate, but that's okay.
Oh, you must have missed it. Oh well.
I didn't see it come up.
Oh, so you must have been paying attention. Some fan you are.
And your Marvel one was good, mate. I watched all that through. That was awesome. And so that's basically my finals thoughts. And go the Caddies. Hopefully get the upset. So well done.
That's it. All right, Raby, final thoughts.
Oh, look, I sort of left dinner a little bit late tonight, and I didn't end up getting around to it. I was gonna order a surprise pizza, but then I realised I couldn't share it with anyone because I'd be sitting here, so I sort of waited. But I've come up with the perfect conclusion. I'm gonna get myself a nice quarter pounder and maybe a 6-pack of nuggets. I just figured, why not go the whole hog? Macca's, they love listening to the pod every week. I know everyone that works at Macca's listens to the pod. If you could send me some free Macca's, that'd be great. But if you don't, all good. I'll keep asking. And I might even get extra onion and extra cheese in the quarter pounder with 6 McNuggets on the side with sweet and sour dipping sauce. So might even get chocolate thick shake for the drink actually as well.
A few dimmies in too.
I don't think McDonald's do dimmies.
I haven't had dinner yet. I haven't had dinner yet. That sounds amazing. And can we get a bit of a wave from the tech guy? Can he put a wave in tonight or what?
He doesn't mean you. He means the other one.
Steelos, mate.
Closing thoughts.
Hey, boy.
He could have the most famous hand on the internet.
He might pop in next week for a hello.
Stop it! It's Steelo's closing thoughts. Stop talking over him. Steelo, take it away.
I think I might change my title from being a chimpanzee to just a chipmunk.
A chipmunk.
Yes. With an O. Monk.
A monk of chips.
If you will.
Alright, well, thank you for that closing thought. Ever insightful.
Do chickmunks eat dim sims?
Alright.
They probably do.
My closing thoughts. Bruce Rando's streaming this weekend. Be there, be square. Lap it up. Lap it up, gentlemen.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, Bruce. Oh, I'd have one more final thought.
Oh, no, you don't get another one.
Yeah, bro, you weren't there. Hey, you didn't stream on Sunday. I'm looking again now.
Hey, don't start with you weren't there, because you weren't there for the intro when I told you I was going to do a strip show tonight. So here's my second addition to the next layer.
He's being very creepy. He's taking his jumper off. Yep. Yeah, he's trying to be sexy. He's just not nailing it because he's an old guy. And look, that was wonderful. What a great shirt. What a great shirt.
Go cats. So
I'm down 3 layers
calm
of the
down.
show and still showing off Saints merch. I mean,
he's got the Moorabbin.
Oh, Moorabbin merch.
What about you, Nathan? What do you got on? You look like you got a Big Bash shirt on, mate.
I'm not showing my shirt to the likes of you. You can see it at the beginning of the episode before you joined along. So, anyway, closing thoughts. Yes, okay. Come watch me stream Sunday. It's not Bruce Rando isn't my brother. I don't have a brother. I am Bruce Rando. It's a fucking pseudonym. Alright?
What?
And I stream on Sundays. Come, stop by. Don't know what I'll be playing. If I'll be playing something, maybe I'll be reacting to something. I don't know. I just do whatever the fuck I feel like. Come join me. Come watch. Come say hi. And yes.
Monster Jam.
And so go the Australia in the Olympics as well. Shout out.
Oh, how many days left? Do we know how many days left?
I don't know nothing. We're in the Olympics. The Olympics is happening now. We've got Australians competing. That's enough for me. I haven't watched a second of the Olympics, but hey, go them.
Water polo is on tonight. We're playing Greece. And if we get through, we could be playing for a medal in that. So.
And I support them doing that, but you can't make me watch it.
And if any of our listeners out there could get on the comments page again in YouTube and just let us know the Australian water polo team. What is their nickname?
The Slangers.
The Slangers. Oh, that'd be a good one.
Slippery Gypsies.
Slippery Gypsies? No, I don't know. I
that's
think that's
a couple of
racist these days. I don't know. I think Gypsies is a racist term. I don't know. Under the G word, the G slur. Anyway, calm down. We don't want slurs on YouTube, alright? So, with that, that's it from us at All for Footy, and we're out.